Chosen one, what you are about to encounter is not random. This message has reached you at a precise time in your life for a reason that transcends coincidence. If you are hearing these words today, understand that you have been brought here intentionally. You are not here by chance or accident. A significant shift is taking place in your journey, one that carries the potential for profound personal and spiritual transformation. This is a time marked not merely by reflection or contemplation, but by preparation. The events unfolding in your life may not yet be fully clear, but something extraordinary is approaching. The next phase of your life could very well be shaped by an encounter that alters your path in ways not yet visible. This message is a signal to acknowledge the divine timing that is now aligning in your favor. Throughout history, those chosen for greater purpose have often been guided through seasons of uncertainty before reaching clarity. This is one of those moments. You are now standing at the threshold of transformation, moving from intention to manifestation, from preparation to realization. You may have spent years in a state of waiting, hoping, praying, and enduring hardships while holding onto a quiet faith that change would arrive. That wait is reaching its conclusion. A spiritual alignment is taking place in your favor. The transformation ahead is not simply emotional or psychological, it is energetic, spiritual, and tangible. This change is not the result of external achievements alone, but is born out of internal evolution. You have grown in strength, awareness, and discernment. All of these have prepared you for what comes next. Divine timing refers to the orchestrated alignment of circumstances in ways that may not make sense in the present moment, but reveal their purpose later. If you've been sensing delays, repeated obstacles, or unexplained pauses, recognize that these experiences may have served to protect, redirect, or refine your path. Sometimes divine timing is not about speeding things up, but about ensuring you are fully equipped to handle what you're about to receive. It is both a delay and a preparation. It allows for unseen factors to align in your favor, often far better than your original plans. The present moment is not a coincidence. It is a coordinated point where your past efforts and future opportunities meet. As you reflect on your journey so far, consider how each step has brought you to this place of readiness. You are here now, not just to witness change, but to be an active participant in it. Before transformation comes, there is often a period of stillness, a space where the unseen work is done. Many chosen ones go through extended seasons of struggle, confusion, or isolation. These are not punishments. They are periods of preparation. In these moments, your character is built, your resilience is tested, and your faith is refined. Preparation may not always feel purposeful when you are in the midst of it, but what may have felt like stagnation was, in truth, a divine strategy to prepare your inner life for the external opportunities that are now approaching. If you have experienced hardship, it may have served to mold you for what's to come. What you endured has not been in vain. It has developed the strength necessary to sustain you through the next chapter of your life. Your readiness is not based on outward status, but on internal maturity. Spiritual transformation requires more than desire. It demands alignment. To receive what is being prepared for you, you must be internally aligned with what you seek. That means letting go of fear, self-doubt, and resistance. It means being willing to receive, not out of entitlement, but out of readiness. Ask yourself, am I ready to step into the opportunity that's being presented? Am I willing to believe in something greater than what I can currently see? Am I prepared to act in faith, even when outcomes are uncertain? These questions are more than personal reflection. They are necessary checkpoints. And the truth is, the chosen one doesn't wait for ideal conditions. They act when they are called. Knowing the call itself is proof of their preparation. Alignment also means being aware of the influences you allow in your life, your thoughts, relationships, and habits. As you move forward, assess what supports your growth and what holds it back. Every element of your life is either contributing to your readiness or detracting from it. Throughout history, divine encounters are often described as occurring during quiet, contemplative times, moments when the noise of daily life fades and the soul becomes receptive. The message here is not about theatrics, but about presence. An internal meeting is being called, a moment where your personal intentions intersect with divine guidance. You are not asked to be perfect. You are asked to be willing. Willing to believe that a better future exists. Willing to set aside disbelief and accept that your life can change. Willing to participate in your own transformation. This willingness marks a shift from passivity to participation. It signals that you are no longer just waiting. You are preparing, showing up, and staying open to what is possible. Often, the greatest hindrance to transformation is not lack of resources, but resistance to release. Letting go of expectations, past disappointments, and tightly held assumptions is one of the most powerful ways to create space for new opportunities. Letting go is not about losing, it's about making room. It's about trusting that what lies ahead is better aligned with your growth than what you've been clinging to. Release allows for renewal, and renewal leads to elevation. This is a key lesson for the chosen ones. Holding tightly to control often limits the outcome. Releasing control, on the other hand, creates access to possibilities that surpass personal understanding. Faith is often misunderstood as blind optimism. In reality, it is deliberate trust in something greater, even when evidence is lacking. It is what allows you to take action even in uncertainty. It is the quiet force that turns prayer into power and hope into manifestation. At this turning point, faith becomes your most valuable asset. It enables you to navigate this season of change with clarity and purpose. Whether it is faith in a new opportunity, faith in healing, or faith in guidance, you are being asked to activate it now. You don't need all the answers to begin. You just need the willingness to believe that the answers will unfold along the way. Transformation does not require perfection. It requires participation, and faith is how you participate in divine movement. For many, financial stress is an enduring barrier that affects every area of life. But what if the shift begins not with money itself, but with how we perceive it? The chosen ones are not called to struggle indefinitely. They are called to rise, to steward resources, and to build lives that serve their purpose. Financial transformation begins by breaking mental cycles of lack and opening up to the belief that abundance is accessible, not just for survival, but for purpose. Ask yourself, what beliefs do I hold about money? Do they serve my highest purpose? Have I internalized limitations that are no longer valid? When you begin to approach finances with clarity, stewardship, and faith, you align yourself with opportunities. It's not about chasing wealth, it's about being ready to receive and manage it well. The shift begins inside before it's seen outside. True health is not limited to the body. It includes the mind, emotions, and spirit. If you have been facing health issues, fatigue, or emotional instability, recognize that transformation in this area is also part of the breakthrough being offered. It begins by rejecting the belief that decline is inevitable, by affirming that vitality is your natural state, by caring for your body not from fear, but from love. When you align your habits, thoughts and prayers around healing, you become an active participant in your own restoration. Speak life into your body. Visualize strength returning to your limbs. Practice care in your daily decisions. And most importantly, trust that healing, whether gradual or immediate, is underway. Human beings are wired for connection, yet loneliness remains one of the most common struggles in modern life. Chosen ones often face seasons of solitude, not as punishment, but as preparation. As this moment of change approaches, love, in its many forms, is ready to return. Not just romantic love, but the love of family, friends, community, and spiritual presence. Are you ready to receive love in new, healthy ways? Are you open to releasing the past so new connections can grow? This is the time to make space for that love, not by forcing it, but by preparing to receive it. When you operate from a place of alignment, the right people will enter your life, not to complete you, but to walk with you. There is significance in sacred moments. The hour referenced, 3 a.m., is symbolic. It represents a spiritual opening, a quiet space where intentions are amplified and distractions are minimized. You do not need rituals or perfection. You need presence. If you feel led to pause at this time, do so. Sit quietly. Reflect. Ask for clarity. Offer gratitude. You may be surprised by what becomes clear in the stillness. This moment does not create change. It confirms that change is already occurring. Your role is to become aware of it and participate. Chosen one, everything you have experienced has brought you to this point. Every delay, every prayer, every test of faith has prepared you. You are not stepping into something new alone. You are stepping into it with the full support of divine timing, purpose, and alignment. Chosen one, as you stand on the edge of change, there comes a time when preparation meets presence. The hour referenced, 3 a.m., is not merely a symbolic figure. It serves as a spiritual metaphor for clarity, awakening, and alignment. This time, often associated with stillness and solitude, becomes a powerful moment for divine engagement. In this sacred encounter, something significant occurs, not always seen with the physical eye, but felt deeply in the heart and spirit. This is not about supernatural spectacle. It is about spiritual awareness. You may find yourself entering a reflective state where distractions fade and a deeper knowing takes hold. This encounter is not about performance. It is not about perfection. It is about connection. You are being invited into alignment with a greater purpose, one that includes emotional healing, renewed vision, and the clarity to walk a path designed specifically for you. Many spiritual traditions describe higher dimensions of awareness, often called the 5D or fifth dimension. While not a physical place, this concept represents a state of being where one operates from faith, love, intuition, and spiritual clarity. In this dimension, time feels suspended. The pressures of the material world lose their grip. You become aware of deeper truths. When you access this state, your perceptions shift. You begin to feel connected, not only to a higher source, but also to a clearer version of yourself. Doubts lessen. Clarity increases. Inner conflict gives way to peace. This is the state where your prayers start to feel heard in real time, where fear is replaced with assurance, where you begin to see the purpose behind past struggles. In this higher space, you are no longer defined by past limitations. You are defined by divine intention. This shift in perception creates a ripple effect in your outer life. Opportunities begin to align. Relationships transform. Resources appear. But all of this begins internally, within the 5D awareness. Living from this space requires ongoing awareness. It's not a place you visit. It's a level you choose to operate from. Maintaining access to the 5D dimension is not about detaching from reality. It's about living in greater harmony with your own inner truth and divine purpose. Transformation is not just about inspiration. It is about realignment. When a divine encounter takes place, especially in still, intentional moments like those around 3 a.m., you begin to see your situation differently. Problems that once felt overwhelming begin to shrink. Possibilities you hadn't considered come into view. This happens because your mind is no longer focused on control or anxiety. Instead, it is grounded in awareness and trust. Divine encounters reorder your focus. They remind you of your identity, your purpose, and your power. You begin to act with more intention. Your decisions align with your values. Your time becomes more protected. Your relationships more purposeful. This is what transformation does. It doesn't just change your environment. It changes how you respond to it. One of the most visible areas of breakthrough for many chosen ones occurs in finances. For too long, financial hardship has served as a source of stress, distraction, and self-doubt. But in the 5D state, this begins to change. You begin to see money not as a struggle, but as a tool for purpose. This doesn't mean resources appear without effort. It means the blockages, mental, emotional, and spiritual, that have kept abundance away begin to dissolve. Where fear once governed your financial decisions, clarity now leads. Where scarcity limited your options, creativity opens new paths. Opportunities start appearing. Whether it's a new job, a business idea, or a chance to invest wisely, you begin to feel empowered rather than stuck. This shift isn't about becoming wealthy for its own sake. It's about becoming free. Free to choose. Free to give. Free to pursue what you're called to do without constant financial tension. This type of abundance doesn't come from entitlement. It comes from alignment. It is a direct result of surrendering fear and trusting that provision will come when you walk in purpose. Financial transformation also comes with responsibility. When you receive abundance, you are entrusted with how it is used. The chosen one understands that wealth is not only for personal comfort, it is for community impact. It is for building, restoring, and elevating others as well. Another key area that often shifts after a divine encounter is health, physical, emotional, and spiritual. Many chosen ones carry the weight of prolonged exhaustion, chronic conditions, or emotional fatigue. But something begins to change after spiritual awakening. The body starts responding to the new mindset. Healing begins, sometimes gradually, sometimes immediately. You may start feeling more energized. Mental fog may lift. Chronic symptoms may decrease. This is not magic. It is the power of alignment. When your beliefs, emotions, and actions work in harmony, the body responds. You also begin making different choices. You prioritize rest. You hydrate. You eat mindfully. You recognize your body as a vessel of divine purpose and start treating it accordingly. Emotional health improves too. You forgive faster. You stop replaying past traumas. You learn how to protect your peace without isolating yourself. This internal renewal often goes unnoticed by others at first, but over time, it becomes impossible to ignore. For those who have experienced betrayal, loneliness, or emotional distance, the idea of healthy, supportive relationships may feel distant. But divine alignment often initiates relational renewal. After a transformative encounter, the people around you begin to change. Not always because they improve, but because your energy shifts. You no longer tolerate manipulation, disrespect, or indifference. Instead, you attract relationships that are built on mutual respect, trust, and shared values. Sometimes, this means letting go of long-standing connections that no longer align. Other times, it means seeing existing relationships in a new light, approaching them with empathy and boundaries. New connections also emerge. You meet people who challenge you to grow, who see your value, and who support your goals. These are not accidental meetings. They are purposeful alignments designed to walk with you in this next season of your life. This is part of your transformation. You begin to understand the value of community and the need to both give and receive support. You are no longer walking alone. You are becoming part of a tribe aligned by spirit, not by circumstance. It is not uncommon for chosen ones to be misunderstood, mocked, or dismissed during the preparation phase. But as your life transforms, those who once doubted you begin to take notice. This is not about proving anything to them. It's about the evidence that becomes visible through your growth. People begin to see the changes, the confidence in your speech, the clarity in your decisions, the peace in your demeanor. They notice that things are shifting for you, and many will wonder how. Some will ask questions. Some may draw closer. Others may still resist, confused by your growth. But all will be impacted. Your transformation becomes a testimony, not just of your discipline, but of divine timing and purpose. You may not be called to explain everything. Your life itself becomes the explanation. And in some cases, those who once doubted you may begin their own transformation because of the example you've become. Experiencing a breakthrough is one step. Sustaining it requires consistency. After the divine encounter, the task is not to maintain perfection, it is to maintain awareness. This means continuing practices that keep you grounded. Prayer, reflection, gratitude, intentional living. It means checking in with yourself regularly and asking, am I aligned with purpose today? Am I operating from faith or fear? Set routines that support your well-being. Be selective with your inputs, what you watch, listen to, and entertain. Surround yourself with people who reinforce your growth, not those who pull you back into old cycles. Sustaining transformation also requires humility. You are still learning. You are still growing. There will be challenges, but the difference is now you know how to respond with faith, focus, and clarity. Even in difficult seasons, you'll have a reference point, the moment your breakthrough began. Let it serve as your anchor. Transformation doesn't end with the individual. When one chosen one rises, it affects many. Your healing becomes a safe space for others. Your growth becomes a mirror for those still stuck. Your courage becomes inspiration for those afraid to move. This is the ripple effect of purpose. Personal alignment creates collective benefit. When you begin to walk fully in who you are, you give others permission to do the same. Communities change, families heal, generations are restored. All because one person, like you, chose to respond to a divine invitation. Chosen one, what began as a divine invitation has now become a lived reality. You have stepped into a new chapter, not defined by circumstances, but by alignment. The journey ahead will still require patience, persistence, and discernment. But now, you are not walking in the dark. You are walking with vision. With vision, you have met the moment. You have received the encounter. And now, your role is to walk forward, boldly, intentionally, and faithfully. Let this transformation not end in this moment, but extend into every area of your life. Let it inform how you work, how you rest, how you relate, and how you lead. And as others witness your growth, let them be reminded, Transformation is possible. Breakthrough is real. And for the chosen ones, timing is never random. It is always divine. Chosen one. By now, you have not only heard the calling, you have accepted it. You have stood in the presence of divine timing, experienced the stillness of awakening, and allowed your life to be transformed from the inside out. But this is not the end of the journey. This is only the beginning of what comes next. Building a life that reflects your transformation, sustains your alignment, and creates a legacy that lasts. Breakthroughs are important, but what follows them is even more critical. Many people experience short-term shifts, but quickly return to old cycles because they don't build the structures needed to support lasting change. That's not your path. As one of the chosen, you are now tasked with something greater, anchoring your growth in daily practice and becoming a light for others. This final part is about turning transformation into lifestyle, about walking in truth, embodying purpose, and shaping a legacy that serves not just your future, but the future of many. Lasting transformation does not rely on inspiration alone. It requires systems. These systems may be internal, like discipline, clarity, and reflection, or external, like routines, environments, and support networks. One of the first steps after breakthrough is building a daily structure that supports your renewed vision. Consider these guiding principles. Morning mindfulness. Start your day not with urgency, but with intention. A few moments of prayer, silence, or journaling can align your thoughts and energy. Clear focus. Define 1 or 2 priorities for the day that reflect your divine assignment. Don't allow the urgent to distract you from the important. Gratitude. Inventory. Regularly remind yourself of how far you've come. Gratitude strengthens your spiritual posture and magnifies your awareness of continued blessings. Evening reflection. As the day ends, return to stillness. Ask yourself, did I act from faith today? Did I stay aligned? What did I learn? These small habits may seem simple, but they are powerful. They guard your transformation from being temporary. They shift your change from a moment into a movement. Every elevation comes with new challenges. The same people, habits, or environments that you outgrew may try to pull you back. The momentum of the past doesn't disappear overnight. It must be managed. Understand that regression doesn't mean failure. It simply means you must be vigilant. The chosen one's responsibility is not only to grow, but to stay grown. This means being aware of emotional triggers that lead to old patterns. Guarding your time and space from energy-draining influences. Learning how to say no when something no longer serves your divine direction. Regression begins subtly, with one compromised boundary, one missed prayer, one old belief. Creeping back in, stay watchful, not paranoid, but discerning. Growth doesn't eliminate resistance, it simply equips you to rise above it. Now that you've awakened to your calling, you must begin to walk in purpose. Purpose is not about status or visibility. It's about impact. And that impact begins with clarity. Ask yourself, what have I been uniquely equipped to do? What problems am I passionate about solving? Where do my abilities meet the needs of the world? Your purpose may be public or private, creative or strategic, expressive or service-oriented. Whether it involves healing others, teaching, building, leading, writing, parenting, or simply showing up fully each day, your work matters. Chosen ones do not chase popularity. They pursue purpose, and purpose often requires consistent, unseen effort. But over time, that effort compounds and produces results that speak louder than any introduction. Your story has power, not because it is perfect, but because it is honest. The pain you've experienced, the confusion you've overcome, and the transformation you've undergone are not just for you. They are tools for healing others. You do not need to preach to have impact. You only need to live with integrity. Your peace, resilience, and joy will become a testimony louder than any speech. You may be called to share your journey through writing, mentoring, creating, or simply listening to someone else's pain with empathy. This is sacred work, and often it is the quiet, humble moments of service that heal most deeply. Never underestimate your presence. The Chosen One's healing presence changes atmospheres. When you walk into a room grounded and whole, others will begin to believe. Wholeness is possible for them too. The Chosen One is not only focused on the present. They carry generational awareness. They understand that every decision made today shapes the environment for tomorrow. Legacy is not just about inheritance. It's about influence. What kind of wisdom will your children remember? What kind of impact will your community feel? What kind of story will your life tell? Legacy is built intentionally, through your habits, your generosity, your leadership, your forgiveness, your values. As you continue walking in your calling, begin to think, long-term, what will remain when you're gone? How can your work outlast you? Who are you empowering to rise after you? These questions are not burdens, they are invitations to build not just for success, but for significance. One transformed life can inspire hundreds. When you choose to live in alignment, your life becomes a catalyst. You don't need to be famous or followed by thousands. You only need to be faithful.